back at it again, and Kanye West once again. I feel like I've had him on the channel like 3 days in a row. Now, obviously, because Kanye West is the gentleman, the rapper, the billionaire, who recently wore the White Lives Matter t-shirt with Candace Owens and sent the internet into an absolute frenzy. Everybody was just losing their minds. Well, everyone on the left was just losing their minds, and it was fantastic to watch that whole thing play out. People are just so... I'll get into that, I'm sure, in this video, but yeah, I was shocked to see that he did an interview with Tucker, so I'm excited to check this out. With that being said, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well and join the family. All right. All my social media links are in the description box below. My Instagram account, Twitter account, True Social, all of that stuff is down below, as well as the Discord server. So feel free to join the Discord server. Anyway, with that being said, let's dive in.
Welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Kanye West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He has also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a t-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage. "There is no excuse for this," thundered the New York Times. "West is legitimizing extremism," shrieked Rolling Stone, etc., etc. What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the t-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill. Too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient. There's nothing to see here. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you.
No, he's not crazy. He's a free thinker. He doesn't follow what society has told us we should follow. And the establishment hates him for it. Right? I mean, it's obvious. It's clear as day. Kanye's breaking the mold. He's seen through the matrix. And they don't like it. They hate him for it. So they're going to label him as crazy and delusional and all of this other stuff. Just try to silence him. But I see who the true genius in here is. Do you?
He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries. His freeform social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring and is often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America.
He doesn't care about the PC culture. He says what he wants.
As young people, and that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But again, you can judge for yourself. Here it is. So you just came from Paris Fashion Week. You just landed, and you have a lanyard still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And that you designed that?
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life. I'm pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen, I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being than born in New York City at this point. That 50%.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow. There's more being aborted than born in New York City. Does someone have the statistic on that already? Let me know. If not, I'm going to have to look that up after this video. That is wild. There's a lot I want to say to that, but obviously there's some things that I can't on this platform. That's crazy.
Of Black death in America is a... So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet. When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I liked Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, you know, okay, green light me then. You know, God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that, you know, he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David.
Before he continues, wow. So when the Orange Man started running for office, everyone around him told him, you can't speak about that in public. See what I mean? The establishment around him, and obviously just the establishment at large, sees that he's breaking the mold. He doesn't care anymore. Once you've reached a certain level, right, especially when it comes to finances, once you have that, I think Joe Rogan called it FU money, there's nothing you can do. You can cancel Kanye if you want to. He's set for life. Doesn't care. He couldn't care any less, honestly. And the establishment doesn't like it. So I'm recording this clip after the fact, but I'm going to insert it into the video somewhere. I haven't decided yet. But I just saw news that Adidas has apparently put the deal with Kanye or their partnership under review for him saying White Lives Matter. So you mean to tell me a white-owned company put a black man under review for saying White Lives Matter? In what world or planet does that even make sense? I'll tell you what's going on. The establishment has tried to squash any opposition. And for a while, it was black people, right? And we've seen what the establishment has done to the black community and people of color. I mean, just sent them into an absolute frenzy, tell the black community what to think, how to feel, and what to say. And we've seen it play out. But now, more recently, they've also tried to squash the white person. White guilt. Simply for being white, you should feel guilty. Right? So now they're afraid of the white people who will stand up and say something against the establishment. So to the point where a company like Adidas, who is owned by a white person and started by a white person, has now put under review a black man for saying White Lives Matter. That is the world we are living in, ladies and gentlemen. That is why Kanye has been doing what he has been doing, to call this stuff out. And people still will fail to see what's going on. Let's hop back into the video.
You know, he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
You know, I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. You know, like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and
Facts.
their jokes in that work, and this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy, and all these things, they don't work because the media has, you know, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically.
I do feel like the media's brainwashing is slowly wearing off a little bit, because now it's become just so obvious to a lot of folks. Now, to some folks, they're still completely blind to it, but to a good number of folks, it's become so obvious what the media is actually doing. And obviously you have someone like Ye coming out and, you know, breaking the mold or seeing through the matrix, and also helping bring people out of the brainwashing along with them. And like you said, the media's gonna paint him and everybody else that does that as crazy, lunatics, extremists, and everything else. And it's slowly wearing off. What was that quote? I think it was a Campus Reform video. I forgot what it was talking. They said a dying animal screams the loudest. I'll say that again. When an animal is dying, I'll say it a little bit differently. When an animal is dying, it screams the loudest. See a correlation? The grip is they're losing grip of the public. Kanye's crazy. Those people are all extremists. They're public enemy number one. We gotta stop the extremists. They're all crazy and lunatics. Hey, I'm just saying.
To me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stayed quiet about it.
What have they?
I want to answer the white. Yeah. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is an educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today. He said, "White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha," and I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny, and I said, "Dad, why do you think it was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious. And, you know, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have an Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like, my dad is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him, because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal, and my dad would see certain things and say, you know, we should do it this way, we should do it that way, and the people got around my mom and pulled her away. Much like, you know, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 Black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions, and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
So you said that your father said when he saw the shirt "White Lives Matter," it's great to see a black man stating the obvious. So, by which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, you know, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote "White Lives Matter" on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah. Why do you think?
Facts. They do. He doesn't care what me, you, or anybody else has to say about it. Kanye does what Kanye wants to do. And that's why I rock with him. He doesn't follow anybody's rules or anything like that.
That's so, and I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that that would be considered controversial?
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad.
Wow. Say that again. Say that again. Say that again. Tell him again,
It means
please.
to be black and labeled us. The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have.
The same people who have stripped us of our identity and told us what it means to be black and told us what we have to say and the vernacular that we have to use, Joe, also have told us who we have to vote for. And they call him crazy. Yeah, okay.
My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a black college, he would be discriminated against because they said he talked too white.
Yes.
And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of where everyone else was clapping their hands. And this is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And when my mom, when the school suggested, like, the herding systems, because what they do is take the black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom, she had a PhD, and she was influenced to move to the south side of Chicago and take this job at Chicago State University. And she told my dad, if you come for us, you'll never see him again. Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see my children. And they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door to see my children. And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. There's so many things that are put in Kim's head.
I do remember that that whole situation playing out when he reportedly bought the house next door or across the street or something from Kim's house, and people were, oh, he's stalking this harassment and blah 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 blah. First off, when you're a billionaire, you could do stuff like that. And I want to say he said that in one of his songs off of his more recent album, Donda, who is named after his mom, actually. I want to say he had a line that spoke to that moment, like something along the lines of, yeah, I have the money to do so why not do it? Like, I want to be close to my children. But of course, since he's not a part of the establishment and doesn't follow the establishment rules and toe the line, the establishment painted him as a crazy, lunatic, stalker ex-husband. He just wanted to see his kids.
Bring influencers. Like, no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is, for people that have some form of influence, whether it's an educated black woman like my mother that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential white woman on the planet, being my ex-wife, they have people that are around them at all times telling them what to be afraid of. It's like not what to do or say specifically, it's what to be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, you know, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens,
right.
or it's not that we have to agree.
Right.
Before he continues, he just said something that we all knew. It just had never truly been confirmed. The establishment is really going to hate him for that. He just exposed what is happening to a lot of these celebrities. They have handlers and people that are close to them that put on this friendly face and are super likable, and they tell them what to be afraid of. Not necessarily what to say, but they put the hints in their ear. We've always heard about celebrities being told what to say. We've always heard about it. It's just never been confirmed. Until now, that is.
Afraid of them, you know, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens.
Right.
Or, it's not that we have to agree with this, but
they're not afraid.
They're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God, and everyone has an opinion.
So, Kanye breaking the mold, and obviously there's more to it, and I may dive into more of that interview, some more clips of that. Y'all let me know if you are interested in seeing more of that. I definitely think it's really, really cool to see and hear, obviously. But yeah, breaking the matrix, right? And just the fact that people were losing their minds over a simple t-shirt just shows me how brainwashed people truly are, and how well the establishment has gotten to them. And obviously the establishment wants us to continue to fight over black and white and whatever else. And even I, sometimes make the mistake, but I think we have to get to the point where we just call ourselves Americans, right? There's no more black or white or whatever else. We just call ourselves Americans. The establishment wants us to be put in little boxes and fight over it until the end of time, because they profit from it. And as long as we're fighting amongst ourselves, we're not looking at them. But hey, I ain't tell you that, I'm just a small YouTuber, you know what I mean? Don't pay no attention to me, okay? I don't know anything. I'm new to this, okay? But all seriousness, you love to see it. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.